Hi, good afternoon. This is Joe Badelli, Chief Revenue Officer at Propy. And today, episode 68 of Propy's weekly webinar, will we bring you the trends and technologies happening in the real estate industry. And today, we're going to talk about how blockchain technology will impact real estate. We're going to cover further novice blockchain and crypto, real estate agent brokerage, to the more advanced. We're going to talk a little bit about NFTs and what's going on with Robinhood.
Cool.
With me today is Sonya Cunningham, broker at Cooper Sotheby's, Austin, Texas. Sonya, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me today. I'm excited to be here.
So for our audience, Sonya, give us a little bit about your background and also how you got involved with crypto and blockchain.
Okay, well, that's a great question. So I'm actually a second generation realtor. My mom was a real estate agent, and I have been doing it for almost 19 years now. It was my first job out of college, and I just really loved it, and I continue to love it. And a big part of why I love it is because every day is a little bit different. It's a changing and evolving industry. A big piece of that is technology. And I've always really been into technology, but I guess about 3 years ago, started reading about Bitcoin, got excited about it. And as most people will say, I kind of went down the rabbit hole and started investing in crypto. But further started understanding blockchain technology and really saw an intersection there between real estate and the technology. And I just think there's a bright future for these in the years to come.
So how many years have you been involved with crypto? When did you start learning crypto and blockchain?
So it was 2018 or, right at the end of 2017, early 2018. And that was when I started investing in crypto. I really got involved with blockchain and real estate and actually found your company in 2019. And I've actually recorded a few deed transfers on the blockchain through you guys and learned quite a bit through just your platform.
And we're going to touch base, folks, a little bit more on crypto as well as blockchain. But if you haven't seen the industry news, Figure did merge with mortgage lender Homebridge. And the basis for the merger was so Homebridge, who's a top 30 national mortgage provider, is to have blockchain technology. What does blockchain do for the industry?
Well, I think there's several things that it can do for the industry. From a high level, first and foremost, it provides greater security. And inherently, a blockchain platform is free from fraud and kind of just keeps out nefarious activity. Accuracy is the big one, and I think that's a huge part for the lending world. Who hasn't tried to get a loan and had your underwriter ask for the same document like 5 times? It's very frustrating. So putting the data onto the blockchain makes it where it's accessible moving forward, and we all know it's accurate. Efficiencies, like I'm speaking to on that, you're not going to have redundancies and have to do things over and over again, which shortens the period of time required. Transparency as well. So I think that, documents are more accessible to all the parties in the transactions, making it go just that much smoother. It might be important to note there that you can also write permissions into that where private and sensitive information isn't readily accessible to everybody. And then the overall impact, it's reduced costs, it's reduced time, and more deals, right?
So basically what you're saying is if for you agents out there that ever had to wait on a loan or any part of the process where you're waiting on documents, you're waiting on checks, validations or things to get approved, having the data, and this goes for any industries because it's already taken over, even in some government places. It started moving into corporate world a few years ago as well. Anytime you have agreements or documents or data, having it available, I would say fastly, but quick, and it's secured, the data's secured, it's accurate, it speeds up the process.
Yeah.
And removes a lot of frustration, not only for the agent, but ultimately the buyer and the seller in this process, where they don't need to understand what blockchain is. And in some markets, absolutely they do, but they expect things to move faster now in a transaction than before, based on everything else, their Amazon deliveries, every online purchase, right? All that data is going somewhere and can be reused to populate, agreements and validation. So ultimately, it speeds it up. And I believe when I read the figure and Homebridge, they're looking at 99%, are dropping 99 points. I mean, it will make things less expensive too.
Wow.
Because they can validate faster with less resources. I know title and escrow's push, and Propy also has a push on title and escrow in its relation to the transaction on blockchain to reduce a minimum 1/3 the cost to the buyer, to the consumer, which is a plus. Sonya, let's talk a little bit about what steps you take. So if you're new and don't understand crypto or blockchain yet, let's start there. And then folks, if you're on with us today, we're going to get to a little more advanced stuff a little late in about 5 or 10 minutes and talk about NFTs, including Robinhood today. Sonya is very excited about that. So Sonya, what steps did you take to get started, and what would you recommend for an agent who wants to get started in understanding crypto and blockchain?
Well, I think understanding, how to purchase a bit of crypto is probably the starting point. And it's so much easier now than it used to be. You used to have to go in these exchanges and fill out these documents and verify your identity, and it took weeks, honestly. But now we have like Coinbase, and you can even link your Coinbase to your E-Trade account now. It's so much simpler. But once you can get your first crypto purchase under your belt, then you can start to understand the process of it a little bit, and you can start to understand your customer a little bit, which is, I think, hugely important to this. But so let's say you have a customer that comes to you and says, I would like to buy a piece of property with my cryptocurrency. Well, really, there's two ways to do it. One way would be if you're getting a loan, that lender is going to treat it more like an asset versus a currency. And what that means is the borrower is going to have to prove that they have X amount of value in their Coinbase account, and they have to then transfer it to US dollars or any other currency, and then use it for a down payment. That's a little bit more challenging. The more streamlined way would be to use the cryptocurrency for the full purchase. And there are specific exchanges that you can partner with that will work with your title company directly, one of which is BitPay, I know, where they'll take the cryptocurrency from that exchange and they'll transfer it over to the seller at the closing table, just like if you were using cash. And that's really the dream of any crypto enthusiast, any blockchain enthusiast. The more we can see more of those, the more streamlined this whole process becomes. It's just quicker, and the seller gets their money much faster, which they really like as well.
So in that example, the seller had the option to accept crypto or dollars.
Right, that's a good point. If they want to accept it in US dollars, that's another way you can partner with the exchange. The exchange can just send it to the seller in the form of cryptocurrency or as US dollars. There's a conversion rate, and so you just have to make sure you have the right amount for that day, given the value of that cryptocurrency.
All right, and if you want to learn more and you're just getting started understanding crypto and or blockchain, I understand Propy has a course, the Crypto Certified Agent, which I believe you are a Crypto Certified Agent, correct?
I am, Joe. I really enjoyed the course, and I actually, I took it I started it a while ago before I learned a lot about blockchain, and I found it extremely informative from the ground level up. It can teach you how to open up a wallet, how to buy your first crypto, and then it also goes further into how to actually perform a real estate transaction that's crypto funded, and that's how I learned about BitPay, to be honest. But it also talks about different types of blockchain, which that's for the next level of someone who really wants to learn a little more about it. There are several types out there, and they do different things, and I think they'll have a benefit in different areas of any industry. So you have to pick the right one.
So the vocabulary today is understanding what's a token, what's a
Yes.
wallet, and I don't mean the one you sit on, guys. What is cryptocurrency? What is blockchain? How does it work? All of that is covered. So if I'm a new agent or broker that wants to understand and then even get my team and office up, because let's face it, there's a large amount of capital held in crypto right now. That the crypto certified agent course is one that you would recommend?
Absolutely, wholeheartedly. I think anybody can benefit from it. There's some nuggets in there for every level of knowledge base, truly.
All right, and I think we have in the chat window here a link for the crypto certified agent course. You can also go to propy.com, PROPY.com, under products, and you will see a heading for crypto certified agent course. It also comes with a certificate you can use. And Sonya, correct me, this is a learning expense, so it is tax deductible.
Absolutely. I used it. I hope it is.
It is a learning. It is a future learning. All right, so let's talk a little bit more now about, you brought up NFTs earlier.
Yeah, so NFTs, this is kind of a buzzword right now. I guess we can start with what in the world is an NFT, right? It's a non-fungible token. And basically what that means is that the ownership of something is logged on the blockchain, and it can't be taken away from you in any way, shape, or form. So you probably heard about, I don't know, you maybe heard about the art that was sold where they partnered with Christie's, and an NFT was sold for $69.2 million not too long ago. So this is a really burgeoning field. But when we talk about how it intersects with real estate, you can actually NFT a property. And Propy was the first one to do this. It was very exciting. They did it with an auction, and it was really cool to watch. But so basically you take this property and you record the ownership on the blockchain, and that makes it easier moving forward to sell it again. And or the most exciting part to me is to fractionalize the ownership. So you can, in the future, sell off pieces of it to different people. And what's exciting about this is it actually makes it so much more affordable for everybody. So investing in real estate is something that's kind of off limits for a lot of us. It's incredibly expensive. There's a really high barrier of entry. Having to come up with 20% of the down payment for a property is just really hard for most of us. But we all really want to be a part of it. So, and the reason is because it's the true path to building financial freedom and wealth. I think something like 90% of the last century's millionaires were created by investing through real estate. So the goal here really is to bring down the barrier for entry so that everybody can participate in this, financial growth and possibility. And so if we're able to fractionalize it, the other thing is that it could potentially create a secondary market, kind of like a stock market, where you can move in and out of the asset a little bit quicker. Another challenge of investing in real estate is it's not very liquid, right? You have to, it takes a large effort, and it's kind of costly to sell a parcel. So this is going to make it accessible to everybody. And I think it's more like the Robinhood of investing, which is why I commented on Robinhood earlier. People really, really like that platform. They enjoy the fact that it's kind of a democratized version of stock, buying and selling stocks. It's made it accessible to every person. And not only is it popular from the consumers, but judging by what it did on its IPO today, it's an incredibly profitable model as well. It's really fun to watch.
So let's talk about that IPO today, in case those that haven't heard.
Well, I think it ran up like 69% or something. The stock market had to close it down. It was just like, we can't buy or sell anymore. It's outside of the margins. So we're going to have to pick that back up tomorrow, I guess.
And crazy. Then I know you're going to be back on I believe in September. Okay. We're going to have another guest on with you, and we're going to talk a little bit more about fractionalizing, as well as some other ways within real estate to get, let's say, first-time buyers or people where it was unattainable to get real estate. I think that's back in September. Folks, you can join and subscribe to notifications for Propy's weekly webinar on propy.com under resources. Click on webinar and subscribe. But I did want to just point out, what does fractionalization really mean, and why the excitement around crypto and blockchain is from the future. If you want to kind of tie it in, what it means for me, imagine this. There's inventories generally about 5 million homes per year. If one home can be fractionalized 5, 10, 15 blocks, and each one is sold, do the rough math, 10 times 5 million. Now you're at 50 million volume. Are you as an agent, are you ready for that kind of volume?
That's hard to imagine, to be honest. If there's anything this year has taught us, this increase in volume has been difficult to manage on these legacy systems, honestly. Most every agent I talk to we're incredibly overwhelmed with all the deals and the fast pace of the market, to be honest. The pace has really required accessible information and data to try to get these deals done. So blockchain is going to just facilitate that further. And in fact, Propy is already helping us as agents be able to manage this fast-paced market with their offer management platform. And I think that we need the technology to support that volume 100%.
So there's no question blockchain is here to stay, and people will be able to make home purchases with crypto even more convenient and easily in the future, or even now it's compared to a year ago or 2 years ago. So exponentially increasing. And you agents out there, you need to be ready. And one of the areas that Sonya mentioned is, become a crypto certified agent, walks you through the steps. It'll teach you how to buy crypto. That's what she recommends. We're not financial advisors or do it, but it is fun to watch because crypto is volatile right now, right? But it helps from a learning perspective to understand how it works. It's part of the learning curve. And if you're at dinner in a bar, you're in a gathering, that topic is going to come up. What do you own? What do you recommend? Do you understand mining? Do you understand the various forms that each of these cryptocurrencies have? You don't have to be an expert, but you have to understand the basics. Because as Sonya mentioned, real estate becomes more liquid, more options on when we get to fractionalizing a home and opening up investment buyers and individuals who may not be able to afford a 20% down, but they got 5%, they can buy a fraction of it. And I'm sure there will be homeowners that will work out various, deals to, invest into the home and convert rent into ownership. And there'll be a lot more forms when the systems come into place, because it will be faster. It won't take 30 days to close. It will be cheaper. And that's why the volume is going to skyrocket, even with the same inventory. Sonya, what else can you recommend for some learning? Either some groups, some websites, other affiliations. I know you're affiliated in Texas with the Texas Blockchain Council. What is the state government's doing to promote blockchain, and what do you guys do at the Texas Blockchain Council?
Oh, well, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, I am a part of the Texas Blockchain Council. And to be honest, we're doing some really exciting things. In about a year's worth of time, we've been able to pass 2 or 3 pieces of legislation that has made us a much more blockchain friendly state, and where we can do we're basically, blockchain is now acknowledged as a regular form of business. And so and mining is a lot friendlier here due to some nuances with our energy grid, and also the legislation that we've passed. So our goal is to continue to do that. One of the more immediate goals from a real estate perspective on my end is digital identity on the blockchain. I think that would make a big difference in how quickly transactions can go, but more immediately, remote online notaries. If we're able to accept digital signatures, then we can speed this process along quite a bit. So that's one or two things that we're doing. I'm also part of I'm going to be attending a blockchain real estate summit in Texas. It's actually in Austin on September 9th, where it's strictly blockchain and real estate. And we're all coming together to try to, collaborate and see how we can best move the technology forward and work together to better serve the consumers and, just progress the industry.
And I know there's another summit that will have speakers on blockchain and crypto for real estate here in Silicon Valley, where I'm located, in September as well. Those of you out there, if you have any conferences coming up, shoot me an email, let me know. We'll bring it up and promote it here on our weekly webinar. We do want to stay in touch with what's going on around the U.S., anything blockchain, anything crypto, real estate. Sonya, and any last words for our audience?
Well, I would love to mention that once you become a crypto certified agent with Propy, there is actually a Facebook group where we all can kind of network and collaborate together. It's a place where, like-minded people can, start to ask their questions and, get their questions answered, and we can all work together. And what I like about it is you might have a partner in another state that you could work with. If once you get kind of in the community, we all get really excited about it and excited about helping each other. It is more of a community than I've seen in a lot of ways. So participating in it actually has really great rewards. And
you don't have to be a extremely knowledgeable crypto blockchain agent, correct?
No, you don't. Actually, I think part of the purpose is to try to help educate people and make sure that they feel comfortable with talking about it and, talking or working with their clients with it.
All right. So, and Sonya, can you put do you mind putting your contact information here in the chat window? And
happy to do it.
We'll share it. Maria, if you can share it on the Facebook groups for more info. Folks, if you have any buyers that want to, use crypto to acquire a home, and you're an agent and not sure what to do next, feel free to reach out to Sonya. That's part of what the community is. It's borderless. It's a borderless community.
Yeah.
Also build your your referrals and your own personal network. And this opens up another avenue for capital that is being used in many parts of the United States right now.
Any questions, reach out, no matter where you are, and just be a part of this community. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next week on Propy's weekly webinar. Thank you and have a good day. Sonya, again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. It's good to